Hello, ladies and gents. Today we're going to be talking about Lethal Company. Now, what is Lethal Company exactly? Well, from the moment it started, and I remember being around when the day it came out in October, it instantly grew in popularity. I heard about it a week after it came out, I think, and it was already a phenomenal game. Now, what truly is this game? Now, as you know, it's a space game, so it's like sci-fi mixed with horror, and what you basically do is you head down to the planets, collect scrap, get that scrap, come back, go sell it at the company building, but you're working for this company. But what is that company? Well, who really knows? But it's some company that currently has contract over your life because you're working for them to make money so you can survive. But the whole reason for that is, well, who knows, really? You could have had gambling debt or lost a wager, just forced into this when you're born. Who knows? Could be a bunch of issues. Now, the whole thing is you got to get scrap. There's a bunch of different monsters on these planets, and all of them are unique. And how the monsters really got there is beyond anybody, to be honest. They could have been there from, I don't know, because obviously these worlds were inhabited at one point, so how did these things get there? I have no clue. It's one of those strangest mysteries, and I'll never understand it. But this game definitely has some deep lore that could be explored behind it and can be told. I definitely think that lore would be very interesting to explore and dive deep into and to better understand this game and what really happened. Now, obviously, the main issue with the game is that's overly fun. There's no really issue with it at all. The only issue I'd say is that it's sometimes too addictive. I already have like 200 hours in this game, and it's just fun. Love playing with my friends. It's always a good laugh, especially with mods. It also makes it more fun. But at the end of the day, what I don't even know who the creator is, to be honest. I know it's a solo dev, and props to him. That's amazing work. But the real thing about it is just the funniness of it. It's a hilariously made game. And I don't think he ever even expected it to blow up this much. Like, how could you have ever known? Like, it just exploded, and it's a very popular game. I mean, I love it. I mean, definitely, if you haven't given it a try, you should. It's definitely an amazing game. But the whole, concept of these monsters chasing you after you loot up and stuff, it's honestly interesting. My main question is where the monsters come from. Like, it's weird because obviously there's these bases that were probably inhabited at one point by civilizations, I assume, probably humans most likely. But where did they go? Like, what happened? What's the story behind it? Why are we working for these people now? It's always been on my mind ever since I started playing this game. It's like just one of the fantasies I have about it because it's just so unique. But there's no lore behind it, like no real lore telling you, this is why you're working here. You're forced into this life. There's nothing. I haven't found anything, anyways. But yeah, it's just this game is very unique and in depth of how the creatures and what they do, their abilities. It's really, honestly, insane. To be honest, it's amazing. It's just one of these. This is just one of the best games I've ever seen in my time, and it's amazing that it's this popular so quickly. It's just astonishing. I love it in every way. This game's completely fun. It's like fresh. It's like new. It's something unique. Like I've never seen any game like this really, not recently, anyways. And I think that's what makes it special. I think it's one of the more intriguing games I've seen. And that's something to really be talking about because not many games are really intriguing these days. Yeah, this game is definitely one of them. It's downright special. It's entertaining, and it's just downright really funny. From all the game mechanics to the monsters to being able to play with friends, that's all fun. But now, what about this game made it really take off? And I think that's the whole funniness to it. It's so funny, and there's so many ridiculously weird ways to get killed in the game or die. It's something that people think is just amazing, and it is. It's just goofy. Whether you're walking around talking to your friend and all of a sudden you step on a landmine, you both blow up and die and you lose. It's just something just funny about it. The goofiest ways to die, monsters just popping out of nowhere, eating you. It's just funny, and that also relates to that. It's also just a good game because no game I've seen has ever had that effect. Normally, when I die in video games, I get pretty pissed. I think anybody would. But what about it sets it different? I think it's the whole fact that it actually is fun. The whole scrap collecting scenario, the whole being able to play with friends, that's amazing. I've never seen any game like it. But let's get back into the lore part though. Why are we here? Obviously we're farming scrap for a company, but for what purpose? But from what it looks like, you must be doing this out of like not of your own will, because if you don't meet quota, you literally get ejected into space. So you must be forced to do this job. There's no way to be doing it willingly if you knew you'd get killed, I guess, unless like it's the only job you could do. That could be the thing. Like maybe it's the only job available, and that's the only thing you can do. Which in that case, I guess I understand the whole needing to do the job and the risk factor in it because no one else wants to do it. That could contribute to that, yeah. But the main thing is like, where do these buildings come from? So at some point they were inhabited by somebody, because obviously monsters couldn't put these planets here. So they were definitely built, but for what purpose we have no idea. Like just bases, I guess, is what I'd assume they were. Bases for inhabitants, visitors, who knows. And then at some point, obviously, monsters started to show up either by some phenomenon or some weird event that happened and caused them to start appearing. And obviously they had to leave because obviously nobody wants to get eaten by a monster. It's not very fun, whether it's a tree giant, a coil head, or the bracken, and no one wants to get eaten alive. But that's just to deal with the mystery. It's just weird because like you never know what you're gonna walk into. Especially since they're like generating on their own every time you go to it, it's even more crazy. You could be like, oh, one thing you're doing this, the next thing there's a giant monster eating you because you didn't know it spawned. That's kind of just like the point of it. It's really interesting. But the whole like lore part of it is also crazy because there's not much lore around it, but there are video logs that give you like little key details about the lore, and they're pretty in depth, I'd say. They're not like explaining everything, but they do have like a little bit of info about it, and it does help, especially when playing the game, because you don't really know what you're doing. I don't even know sometimes. Sometimes we're just playing for fun and just messing around, and then next thing you know, we're all dead. But it's more or less just fun because the whole aspect lore of it's one of the most amazing games. And I like the scary, spooky vibes of it, the dark hallways you can't see anything and do. It's so dark you can't even like see it all. Even with Max Gamma, it's still dark as crap. It's insane. It's just so detailed, even though it's a solo game. It's just astounding that the guy was able to build this. And props to him, he definitely deserved the money. I mean, this is astounding. I've never seen such a game like this in such a short time. I don't know how much time he's been working on it, but I highly doubt it could have been that much. But this game's definitely something. Whether it's scary as crap and fun, I'd definitely say it's everything in between. It's definitely something. And I'd definitely recommend playing 100%. I think it's only $10 on Steam right now, which is insanely cheap for this game. I was thinking more like 20, but no, $10 is like cheap as ever, which even makes it more affordable from almost everybody. I gotta definitely get this game, but the whole lore aspect of it is also crazy. Like the whole aspect of going down, like it's so mysterious because you never know where you're gonna end up. Because you could end up in just a pit of turret fire, getting shot with turrets, or getting blown up with a landmine. Everything's different, but the whole lore is like spooky because you never know where you're gonna end up, and the whole reason for being here is just to earn money to survive. And that alone is something scary to think about, that you're forced into this job to work because it's the only thing you can do. Whether it's the only job available now, who knows? Like, I almost wonder if this is in the same universe as Earth is, because if it is, this is crazy. Because what would you be doing out here anyways? What would be the reason? But it must have got so bad that like this job that pays you nothing. Because you get paid basically nothing. And that's like one of the more like crazy things about it is you're doing all this hard work just to get paid like basically nothing, and you have to pay them to survive. I guess you get money either way, but if you fail to get your own money, because so basically you have to go out and get your own money. Like this is the stuff you find is your money. So it's super weird when thinking about it, because if you think about it, it's so weird because, well, you're basically paying for your own job. Your work is basically paying for yourself. You're risking your own life to get paid, which is insane. I've never seen a game like it, and it's definitely intriguing, the whole aspect of it. I think that's one of the main things that gets so many people playing it, because like it's just scary. But I definitely think it has potential, and it definitely will continue to grow. I mean, from what I've seen, it's still very popular. People love watching it. I've seen a couple of videos about it, watching it, and just funny. The game's downright funny and just goofy. From the ridiculous mods you can add to the vanilla game just being downright spooky. Like if you take a look around on some of the plants, it's just foggy, dark, and downright, oh no, what am I gonna do? It's just crazy, because like you never know where you're gonna end up. I think that's one of the more fascinating things about this game, because you never know where you're gonna end, and it's just downright amazing, and I love it. And I definitely think you guys should definitely check it out. But if you guys like this type of video and want to see more, please let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps me out big time. I'll see you guys in the next one.